Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
So, Bryan, man, I appreciate you coming out and hanging out with me today.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you. And first off, congratulations on winning gold at the Texas Beer Cup.
Well,
That's exciting.
that was a team effort.
Was it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you won gold on the Nito Bandito, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not something that you developed? You didn't develop that recipe?
No. Nito's been around for years. I just happened to be a part of the team that brewed this batch.
Okay, I got you. All right. I wasn't, so that's what I was wondering, like, how long have you been in craft beer?
Well, I was in craft beer distribution for almost 6 years at Ben and Keith, and did that, and kind of went through a messy divorce, and ended up having to have surgery, and decided that I was tired of just drinking it. I wanted to brew my own.
Nice.
And started, it was at my wife's request. She said I needed a hobby. So,
Okay.
now, I think she regrets it a little bit now.
I'm like, usually you have to convince the wife to let you brew. This is great that she's the one that had the idea first, okay?
Oh, yeah. It was definitely her idea. I remind her that when she gets mad. But, yeah, she's the one who kind of pushed me to start doing it, and I started doing it in our little apartment, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Cool.
And after I had surgery, I went to Eastfield and took their journeyman brewers class, and went through all that. Did some interning, volunteering at 903 at Tupps for a while.
Oh, cool.
Just whatever they would let me do, catching cans off the line.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then
started from the bottom. Okay.
Oh yeah. And then when I was recovering from surgery, and I was supposed to go back to Ben and Keith, and Steam Theory offered me a spot.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, I took the jump. It was scary as hell, but yeah.
So before we get too far into it, I got a lot of questions to ask you here, but you brought us some beer.
Yes.
What'd you bring us today?
Okay. I brought you the Nito because I figured we were going to talk about that.
For sure.
I brought you our Dream Crusher. That's our rye IPA.
I haven't seen this out in a while. Is this something that they just started doing again, or is it just not distributed out here?
I don't know if it comes out this far. We're way out in the boonies.
No, I mean, I know 903 destroys this market to where like nobody else really sells that well.
But it's out here. I went to Sellerman's last weekend, and they had it on tap.
Do they? Okay.
At Sellerman's.
I haven't seen it in a few years, but maybe that's just because I'm not looking for it. I don't know.
We've changed the recipe on it recently, so it's a little different. These are the old recipe, it looks like, just by looking at the can.
Okay.
And then I brought this one. This is one that should be out today that we made. I hit the mic. For our St. Patty's Day.
Oh, cool.
It's Royal McPoyle, and it's milk stout that it's in-house only. It's not in distribution, but it's just a fun beer for St. Patrick's Day.
Sweet. Well, so by the time this episode's out, that'll be on the show, or that'll be available at the brewery. So you guys need to go out there and grab it. It sounds like.
Yep, we only made 6 kegs of it, so yeah, come and get it before it's gone.
Sweet. Well, you want to crack that open?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that then. Here you go. So like, when you were brewing in your apartment, were you doing extract batches, or were you doing brewing a bag?
I did one extract batch.
Okay.
Well, this thing is one
Make a mess. It's okay.
Make a mess.
That is okay.
I did. My first batch was an extract batch.
Okay.
And it came out terrible, but I mean, whatever. But
do you remember what you did?
Yes, very clearly. It was I thought brewing beer's easy. It's no big deal. You just throw shit in the beer and that's it. And so it was a base. I can't remember. I don't even think it was a milk stout. I think it was just a stout recipe.
Okay.
And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a coffee stout. I dumped a bunch of coffee and shit in it, and threw a bunch of chocolate, and it was undrinkable, completely undrinkable. But
you went kind of heavy hard.
Oh yeah, and then I was like, you know what? I don't like this extract stuff. Like, it's boring. It was the can, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. If I'm gonna try it, I'm going all in. So yeah, I did one very, very bad extract batch to all grain.
Okay. No, I did a few different extract batches when I was living in the apartment too, and I bought kits though. I bought kits off like Northern Brewer.
Yeah.
And they advertised it as if you can make a box of macaroni, you can brew beer.
Yeah.
Because you just follow instructions. And honestly, if you have the right instructions, I do feel like it can be that easy. You started experimenting from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I've done some weird stuff with coffee that I've realized doesn't work.
Oh,
So you have to do coffee just right or else it's bad.
Yeah. I just dumped coffee grounds in there. And
I was going to say, not
so
good.
bitter and nasty. And yeah. I mean, Jeremy over at 903 is, he's always kind of inspired me a little bit. I really have liked the beers that he's done. And, I started hanging out over there years ago. And I was like, well, he's putting cocoa nibs in his beer. He's putting this in his beer. I'm like, I'm going to throw all that shit in there too. And it'll come out good, right?
Right.
But no.
Yeah, I tried that once. Realized that throwing whole beans into the last 15 minutes of the boil wasn't ideal. I know different now, but cheers, man. I appreciate you coming out and sharing some stuff with me, man.
Thanks for having me out. There's more in here if you want some.
So this is called the McPoyle?
Yeah, Royal McPoyle, named after those guys from It's Always Sunny.
Okay. See, that's a show that I didn't get like super into.
I think they came up with the name because I guess those guys are really big into milk on the show. I don't remember. It's been a while.
I mean,
since
I know they do milk steak.
Yeah, but that's Charlie.
That's a thing. I mean, it's a good milk stout. It's not overly sweet, which is good.
Yeah, we really didn't go heavy with the lactose on it.
Which, honestly, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of beers out there that are, I think, overly sweet, and this isn't, which
Thank you.
I kind of like. I prefer it to not be overly sweet, so I like to be able to taste the roastiness of the malts.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't put coffee in this, or you did?
No.
No?
Nope.
Yeah, you just get the roastiness from the malts. Yeah.
Yep. All from the malt.
Damn, this is really good.
Oh, thank
this
you.
Is really good.
One of our brewers, Daryl, was actually the one who really kind of spearheaded this one, and he deserves all the credit for it. He really did a good job on it. But
shout out Daryl then.
But it's a team effort, so I figured I'd bring it.
So how long have you been a professional brewer then? How long? Because I guess Steam Theory was the first professional brewer?
I was at Steam Theory for almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And before we ended up closing down last June.
Oh dang, it's
we
been
closed
that long.
down. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and then Deep Ellum has a kind of a special place.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Like the brewery or just Deep Ellum in general?
The brewery.
Okay.
I would go there when I worked for Benny Keith and
nice.
and pick up, truckloads of beer and hang out. And it was the first brewery I ever toured. Just a lot of memories.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool to.
It's sentimental. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I'm I get kind of tongue tied sometimes, but it's definitely special to me. A lot of people kind of have issues with it sometimes, but
get the hell out of here.
But that's okay.
There's a reason why there's a reason why the Dallas Blonde logo is as popular as it is, because they do marketing right.
Yep.
And if the beer isn't any good, it doesn't matter how good the marketing is. So the beer has to be good as well. And they're everywhere. I like. I'm a big Deep Ellum guy in general. Like I go down there for concerts a lot.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big concert guy, and so their beers are literally everywhere.
Yeah.
If I want a craft beer, they're gonna have either their blonde or their Deep Ellum IPA on tap.
Yeah, so. I think a lot of people kind of got with the whole can. I don't know how much you know about the Canarchy deal.
Yeah, we had talked about it, and I was like, so I'm just gonna give you my full blown opinion, okay? I was like, I was torn. I was happy for Deep Ellum because I was happy that they got some money. You know, they're growing their market, but I was like torn on now that they're owned by a larger craft beer conglomerate. Is that going to like slow down the innovation side of things? It doesn't seem that way. I mean, you guys are doing small batches still that are available there at the brewery, so it definitely doesn't seem that way, which is great.
Yeah, we've been really pushing to do a lot more small batch, and it's hard because we have quotas that we have to meet for our distributors. Yeah. But we have been trying to do it almost once a week, once every 2 weeks, do a small batch.
Okay.
We're really trying to involve everybody in the brewery, not just the brewers. Yesterday it was one of the guys in the cellar. It was his turn. He picked a brown ale, an English brown, and we brewed that yesterday.
Nice.
We have another one. We we just did a super hazy IPA. That'll be out. I
saw that online. Yeah.
It'll be out. I don't think you've seen it online, because the one you probably saw was probably the Manic or something like that.
No, I think I saw you post a picture of like a little glass.
Then you saw it.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Because you guys don't normally do hazies, which is fine. I prefer a West Coast IPA. That's me. But hazies are really popular right now.
Yeah. I personally am not a big IPA guy at all.
Oh, okay.
I prefer English beers and, dark. Okay. I'm more of a malt guy than a hop guy. But, okay. But I'll brew anything. I don't care.
Right.
So, but it was fun, and it's coming out great, and yeah, we'll have that one in the tap room in a few weeks.
Nice. So all these small batches are going to be tap room exclusives.
Yes.
Oh, dang. Even more of a reason to go up there, because I do through the atmosphere, it's like Deep Ellum does a few things. They do a few things really, really well. You guys are going to be doing small batches. It's more of a reason to go down there and check out the brewery.
Yeah, we're really trying to just expand on the small batch and just do fun stuff. I mean, I love Deep Ellum Blonde. I love Deep Ellum IPA, but I can brew them in my sleep. So sometimes
I was going to say, yeah.
it's nice to branch out a little bit.
Right. I can imagine it's like any job. You start doing the same thing over and over again. It gets kind of monotonous and you get kind of burnt out on it. So being able to change it up is good.
Yeah, most definitely.
So we're going to go back a little bit. So you were you the head brewer at Steam Theory?
No. Kirk Roberts was our head brewer. And he just kind of I owe a lot to Kirk. He's been a brewmaster for 20 plus years. He's so smart, and he put up with my being the newbie brewer. I came from home brewing and stuff and won a few contests and thought I was hot shit, and then then I had to learn what brewing was.
Right.
So, you know.
So, like, as an associate brewer, whatever it is, are you involved a lot in the recipe making process, or how does that work?
Well, at Steam Theory, I was involved a lot. Like one of our beers, we had a peanut butter milk stout, Peanut Envy. That's completely my recipe, and it was our number one, dark beer the whole time we were open. I'm really proud of that. But yeah, Kirk and I, it was a very, it was never, he was the boss and, we're going to brew what I say. He was very much, let's do this together.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I had input in everything we did. And I did a lot of stuff on my own. Every year I would do, what was it? An English Old Ale for Christmas. And I would change the spices every year. And just a couple kegs, just for fun. Just change it up. Stuff we normally wouldn't do.
Yeah.
We did a lot of barrel aging beers. I came down... When we first moved, me and my wife first moved to Sherman, I decided to come down the street here to Iron Root.
Oh,
just kind of showed up and was like, "Hey, I'm Brian. I'm from Steam Theory, and we're friends now."
Yeah, right.
And ended up getting a bunch of barrels from those guys. They are fantastic, and just so much fun. Steam Theory was really my heart. Right? It killed me when we closed, but
yeah, I mean, it kind of sucked to see a brewery. I don't care. I mean, in the Dallas area, we have a lot of breweries, but it sucks to see one go down no matter which one it is.
Yeah.
So when I had heard about it, I thought it was unfortunate. I'd only had a handful of your guys' beers because they don't distribute this far.
Yeah.
So it was hard to come by, but the beers that I did have, I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah, Kirk is, the majority of our flagship recipes were his recipes, but fantastic brewer. I learned so much from him. He's actually out in North Carolina now, brewing out there. So come back, Kirk.
Hey, I heard there's a lot of good breweries out there too. I've never been, but heard nothing but good stuff out there. So now that you're at Deep Ellum, did they give you a little bit of creative control over there as well? Or is it kind of a team effort?
With our production brewing, that's pretty much set. I mean,
right.
those recipes and those
like the flagships have been around for a long time, so you're keeping
you don't mess with the recipe for Dallas Blonde.
Right. I was gonna say, yeah, there's a few of those you probably don't mess with at all.
But with the small batch recipes, and we have a lot of creative freedom on those. We can pretty much make whatever we want. There are a few, rules because we are such a large brewery that we can't do with certain yeasts and stuff like that because we don't want to risk contamination.
Oh, for sure.
And, but other than that, we're pretty much free to do whatever we want.
Nice.
So
there's one thing that I haven't seen you guys do, and I'm curious to see if you guys are going to fall down this path that I've seen a lot of breweries do. So I talk to a lot of people, and they always have this mentality of like, we've always have somebody that comes in and says, "What do you have outside of beer?" So what I've seen a lot of people do is do either the craft seltzers, or they'll do like craft like sours, like fruited sours. Are y'all looking into going down that path, or you're like, fuck it, we're staying with pure beer? We're staying with beer that tastes like beer because that's what you guys have done, and I can appreciate that.
We have the Deep Ellum Blind Lemon seltzer.
Oh, that's right. I have seen that.
But we don't make that in Deep Ellum.
Oh, okay.
That's not made in Deep Ellum. That's made, I believe it's made at Oscar Blues. We don't have anything really to do with that. I think that's just a name deal. But no, I don't see us making anything like seltzers, or I personally would like to make some fruited sours. I did a lot of that over at Steam Theory.
Mm-hmm.
I would do like we would do like a 3% Berliner base, and then different fruits,
nice,
and stuff like that. I'd also like to try. I know I said that we can't mess with but who wouldn't like to try a strawberry Dallas Blonde?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I've only homebrewed, so I don't know a whole lot about the commercial beer world. But like in homebrewing, like me and a buddy will make a base beer, be it a lager or a blonde, and then we'll throw fruit in a Randall.
Yeah.
And pour that out until that for like a few days,
yep.
and you're good to go. So even if you don't mess with it, you throw fruit over a Randall or something. Like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
How feasible that is in commercial world, but doing something small like that I think would be phenomenal.
Yeah, we've definitely been pushing to do little things like that, and
call it your strawberry blonde. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, it just taproom only stuff. We don't need to do. We don't need to rock the boat with distribution. Distribution is what it is.
But, your distribution footprint is already good, and what you guys put out is already a mainstay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you need to figure out a reason to bring people in. And these small batches are.
Totally. I mean, coming from Steam Theory, that was always my mentality. Because we didn't really have distribution,
right?
So it was, what are we going to do to get people to come in the door? And that's, I guess, coming from the brew pub side, that's always on my mind. I don't like to go in the tap room and see nobody in there. At Deep Ellum, that never happens.
I was going to say, it's how can you get them in and how can you keep them there as long as possible, because you have your greatest margins on beer in the tap room.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to make the most money there anyway. So I just don't understand why that wouldn't be a strong focus. But it sounds like you guys are starting to focus on that, which is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yes, we definitely are. At least the brewers are.
So you guys won gold on the Nito Bandito, and I know this has been around for a little while, you said. Tell me how that experience went. Did y'all go to the actual beer cup, or did y'all just get beers?
To be perfectly honest, I didn't even realize we had entered it.
Oh, nice.
Until I saw it the night we won, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty cool. And I've won homebrew awards and stuff, but I'd never, been involved with the medal or nothing. So I kind of, I liked it. So I took a picture. I was very proud of it. I was
exactly.
Like,
you should be
pretty damn cool. Like, something I was involved with. That's one of my favorite things about craft beer is watching people enjoy something that I made. It's so cool. But yeah.
No, I feel that same way about grilling and like cooking as well as brewing. It's not just about what I think, it's about like what my peers think.
Yeah.
How excited do they get when they drink this or when they experience this, whatever it is that I made. So I totally agree there. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the Texas Beer Cup. Is it only Texas breweries, or is it just happen to be?
I believe it's only Texas breweries.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that.
I mean, you didn't even know you guys entered it in, so why would you know?
Unfortunately, a lot of that goes through, because we are a large brewery, it goes through the office stuff. And
yeah.
I kind of pass through the office every day, and I'm on the brew deck all day. So
I can imagine.
It's a lot of that stuff I don't hear about until after the fact.
Right.
But I am very proud of it.
No, dude, and you guys definitely should be. That's something that I'm going to talk about. I mean, you guys won gold. That's a big deal. I don't care who you are. I don't care what in particular competition it is. It's hard. Some of that stuff's hard.
It's funny though. Last weekend, I actually am more proud of this than the medal. Last weekend, I went to my in-laws' house, and I had taken some Nito over there and dropped it off. Went for Christmas for my brother-in-law and all to drink while they were there.
Yeah.
And my father-in-law was sitting on the back porch drinking one, and he was like, this is pretty damn good. And I was like, score.
It's funny that you would say that. I got a brother of mine that is I call him Lake Nectars, like your standard like Bud, Miller, Coors, like he's a Lake Nectar guy. So I've been brewing for a while, and I always have him try. He's always willing to try it, but he's never really liked anything.
Yeah.
I brewed a blonde last October that he drank and goes, well, I'm going to go ahead and drink this entire beer. You can go ahead and pour yourself a new one. I said, well, I've succeeded.
Yeah.
I have succeeded at this point. So I totally understand that when you get a non-craft drinker into something.
My father-in-law isn't a beer drinker at all.
And, that's even more impressive.
And he was just sitting on his back porch drinking it, and he was like, I saw the can and thought, why not? And this is really awesome. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so for a Mexican lager, it's 6%.
Yes.
Did you guys do it the high ABV on purpose?
I believe so. It's not...
Not that 6% is like crazy high, but...
It's still within. I'm trying to remember what... Over at Steam Theory, we had our Mexican lager over there, and it was very close to this beer. But I think it was a little higher ABV, if I remember right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I think it had more corn in it, if I remember correctly. But ABV wise, no, I can't. I don't know why they chose that. That would be more of Bryan, our innovation brewer, question for him, because I believe he's the one who actually came up with that recipe. And like I said, that had been going way before I showed up.
Right, that's true. It looks like 6% is on the edge of the BJCP scale at least.
Yeah.
So it's towing the line, but it's within the guidelines, so who cares? Maybe I'm just used to the lower ABV lagers.
Yeah.
Don't have a lot of higher ABV lagers. Not that, like I said, not that's high. It's just I think it's high for a lager.
Yeah.
This one being 8% for a stout is expected.
Yeah.
Like 7-8% is normal.
Yeah.
But the Nito is a phenomenal beer. I really enjoyed. I've had that one many a times.
Have you had the Dream Crusher? That's my favorite beer that we make at Deep Ellum.
This is a rye IPA, you said, right?
Yes.
So I don't think I have. I've seen it. And if I have had it, it's been so many years that I don't think I enjoyed it. But now, so this is when I first started drinking craft beer. I was living in McKinney.
Yeah.
And this was maybe 2013, 2014. And I drank a lot of, at the time, I was drinking a lot of like Hefeweizens was a big thing that I liked. Box. And my brother-in-law was trying to get me into IPAs, and I hadn't quite acquired a taste for an IPA just yet. So I may have tried that then, but recently a member of the club brewed a rye IPA, and it was awesome. I had another member of the club brew I think it's called a Roggen beer.
Oh, yeah, Rogan beer.
Yeah, it's a Dunkel, but with rye.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to like rye. That's the reason why I did the rye stout.
Yeah.
So I like the taste of rye. The rye stout's not bad. It's just weird because you're not used to it.
Yeah.
So I liked his rye IPA. If this is anything like what he brewed, I'm sure it's great. But I haven't had it in so many years.
Yeah, we actually, this version, this is the old version. This is 9.5%. The new version we came out with is 8.5.
Oh, this is 9.5?
Yeah.
Holy jeez.
Yeah.
No wonder why it's called the Dream Crusher.
And it's actually one of the harder beers we make because I have to double mash it. We can't fit all of the grains into our mash mixer at once, so I have to do it twice.
Can you explain what that means, what that all entails?
Okay. Well, our system is a 4-vessel system.
Okay. Yep. Standard.
So the first, the grain comes in, it comes into our mash mixer. It's basically a big blender. And all the grain is mixed with the water in there. It's mixed. It's, heated up. It's given a rest before we send it over to the mash tun. With that beer, we have to do that twice. So we have to send the first half over from the mixer to the to the mash tun and then do it again and add both to the mash tun because the mixer is not nearly big enough to hold all the grains.
Okay, so you literally have just a vessel that is there to mix the grains together.
Yes.
And then you throw it into a mash tun and you let it mash out for
we'll let it rest and then we'll boil off it over there and
okay. Yeah, see, I've never heard that. I've only seen where they mix it inside the mash tun and then they just let it mash there and then they just transfer the wort into a boil.
This is, I think it's more so we can have multiple batches going at the same time.
I gotcha.
So if you time it correctly, we're knocking out one batch as we're lautering one over.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So it just gives you a little bit more room to we try to do, like, if our system is a 60 barrel system.
Okay.
And we try to do 240 barrels a day, so 4 batches. And it
240 barrels a day?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's ballpark, it's we'll say 2,000 gallons or so per turn.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Jeez. And this seems ridiculous because I go from my little 5-gallon setup to jeez.
Give or take, it's kind of scary when you first start doing it because I'm like, holy crap, because you're over at Steam Theory, we were doing 10 barrel batches.
Yeah, I was going to say
8 barrel batches,
I've been told that 7 barrels is about as small as you can go to keep up with normal production in this area. So 10 barrels sounds about right. Yeah,
it's funny. I'm still very much friends with the former owners of Steam Theory, and they came in and to Deep Ellum, and they were talking, and they were like 240 barrels. Like, that's more than we would do in a month. I was like, yeah, I know. I did that today.
That's crazy, man. Oh, geez. So, like, do you still homebrew at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. To my wife's chagrin, because I have gone, my homebrew system has expanded. I have a $10,000 Ruby Street brew house in my garage.
Okay. Yeah.
It's I had it custom built, and it was a little present to myself when we sold my house in Allen. So yeah, but I still do a lot of home brewing. I have what's the beer that I have right now in there? It is a peated Wee Heavy.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
haven't had a Wee Heavy in a while. 903 used to do a Wee Heavy, I think.
Yeah.
I think, was it a Scott? I think it had like a little Scottish kilt on it.
Yeah, Kilt Switch.
Yeah,
there you go.
Switch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great beer. That's a great beer.
So, like, moving from home brewing to commercial brewing, it seems cool in theory.
Yeah.
But, like, how do you not get burnt out on just... Because I do it as a hobby, and it's fun to do as a hobby and hang out with friends.
Yeah.
Making a hobby a job. How do you not get burnt out? Is it just developing new stuff? Is that what it is? Or
that, and it helps, the people there's 5 of us on the brew deck, including our supervisor. And, we have a great team, and it's fun to brew with those guys.
Okay.
And girls. We have a girl up on our brew deck too, Soraya.
Nice.
And, they're great people to work with, and, plus I'm doing what I would do for free for work. So.
Okay, I gotcha. I guess when it's fun, it's not really work, right?
So, there, don't get me wrong. There are days where I'm like, I hate beer. I don't want to do this today, but, there's a lot of other things that I've done in my adult life, job-wise, that, I'm like,
Gotta count those blessings sometimes, man.
I saw a thing that said, remember 5 years ago you were dreaming about where you are now, and that's 100% true for me.
Yeah.
I was, delivering beer. Now I'm making beer. I mean,
right.
It's so cool to me. I'm grateful for it every day.
That is awesome. That is so cool that you're still excited about it. And it helps that you have a good team. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else in the works that's supposed to be coming out soon? I mean, I know this one just released. So again, go check this one out. Today
actually, I think the parade is going on right now.
Is it? I don't know why I thought it was going to be next weekend. Next Friday.
Next Friday is St. Patty's Day, but we were talking about actually not putting this beer out until next Friday, and I was like, "But the parade's this weekend."
Yeah, if the parade's this weekend,
we need to get it out. So
yeah, smart.
Yeah. So
good job on looking ahead. Because you
need to kill that.
Yeah, because next weekend I'm going to be out at Bluebonnet.
Oh.
And it's St. Patty's Day weekend, so I just imagine people were going to be doing stuff. But if Dallas is doing their parade this weekend, maybe they're doing it a week early. I don't know. Granted, this is going to be in Fort Worth this year, so I don't know if Fort Worth has a different timetable. Maybe they alternate weekends.
I always wanted to go to Bluebonnet. I might have to go and just snoop around.
Dude,
I've always wanted to go.
I know I missed you last year.
So yeah. Last year I got sick. You and I were supposed to meet up there. That's what I heard. And
it was funny because we had commercial night.
Yeah.
I walked around, I saw Steam Theory's thing, and I saw a guy wearing your name tag, and I go, "Wait a minute, you're not Bryan."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, he's not here today." I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
It's funny because he hung up on my spot in Steam Theory that badge, and he just wrote "Not Bryan" on the back of it.
Nice.
And he was like, "Yeah, they were asking for you." I was like, "Oh, okay."
You had one guy, and it was probably me.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right. At least you have one guy that wishes you were there. No, I mean, it's cool. When I get to see people, when I get to know people, and then I see them out and about, I mean, it's just cool to say hi. Recently, me and the guy that does the brew or does the podcast with me, we went out to Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Okay.
They had a beer festival out there.
Okay.
And I saw the guys at Celestial. I saw Matt and Molly out there, so I was able to say what's up to two of those guys. So it's kind of cool when you go to these random things oh geez, I didn't know you guys were gonna be here. What's up? It's like seeing old friends. It's a real cool thing. So yeah, but yeah, you should totally come out.
No, I just remember going to when I first started brewing, going into homebrew headquarters and seeing all the steins, all the awards in there.
Yep.
And I was like, that's so cool. I
Kelly's
want one of those one day. And
Kelly's cool. It sucks that they shut down. I saw Kelly at the Bluebonnet last year.
Oh yeah.
So he's still doing his thing. It sucks that they went under, but as much as that sucks, it's convenient that Rob was able to open Kettle to Keg here in town.
Yeah.
It's kind of bittersweet kind of thing, you know. As much as I love those guys over there at Homebrew headquarters, I'm glad to have one local to me.
Yeah, it was actually, I haven't known Rob for that long. Actually, I met him when we were over at Steam Theory. We were brewing our hazy IPA, and we forgot to order rice hulls. And I was like, holy shit, how are we going to do this? When we tried to get it, and I was like, wait a minute, I think there's a homebrew shop in Sherman. And I called him, and he was like, yeah, man, I got you.
Yeah.
And went over and got rice hulls, and we were good, and just became friendly after that. And
dude, Rob's the man.
Yeah, he's a
Rob's
really
the man.
guy.
He will help you out with whatever he can. That customer service that they have over there is stellar.
Oh yeah.
I love those guys. They'll always be a friend of mine. But dude, shout out to Deep Ellum. Thank you for all that you do over there. But do you want to get in and play some games?
Yeah.
Sweet. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on. We're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff. but it helps in these little algorithms games for like climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.